Are you feeling restricted by one passport and you're craving more visa-free travels or more business opportunities worldwide, or perhaps just a global safety net? Well, what you just need is a second citizenship. Hey guys, it's your boy Yinks, your expat guide. In this video, I'll be explaining to you how you might just be able to get your second citizenship. Having a second citizenship has a lot of benefits to it, and these are some of the reasons why I think you should consider having a second citizenship. The first reason is because of the visa-free travel. If you're able to, let's say for instance, you have a Nigerian passport. With a Nigerian passport, I believe you're able to only travel to 44 countries visa-free. Now, let's say you're able to upgrade to a St. Kitts and Nevis passport. That's able to give you at least 155 plus countries that you can travel visa-free. So of course, that's a huge benefit to having a second citizenship. Another benefit is the global mobility that you have. You're able to live, work, invest in different countries. So for instance, if you have a passport in the EU, that's 28 countries that you're able to just move around and just work without much restrictions. You're able to do businesses without too much of a headache versus just having your one passport. So now you have that flexibility of being able to have access to other places. The third thing is the business opportunities. You're able to venture into other markets just because of you have upgraded your passport to another passport, and you can now tap into new markets. Another benefit which a lot of people do, for instance, if you follow Nomad Capitalist, is for the tax benefits. This can be very huge and great for you. Upgrading your passport can definitely help you with tax benefits. This is a huge thing, and it's one of the best reasons why you should actually have a second citizenship. And lastly, for safety and security, you just don't want to be bound to just having just one passport, because one country, one government, they decide whatever, and then now you're screwed because of you were born there. And how is that your fault? You didn't really have a choice of saying that. So you shouldn't, I feel like we all should have that flexibility to be able to move and choose what we want. And so having a second citizenship gives you this option and flexibility. Now, for the main reason why you guys have come here, how can you get your second citizenships? Well, the first way is through citizenship by descent. This is when either your parents, grandparents, or you have a lineage in a country. So for instance, say for me, I want to get a Mexican citizenship and my dad happens to be Mexican. Well, because of him being Mexican and it's in the bloodline, I am able to apply for citizenship through descent. So you guys might already be entitled to some citizenships just because of your bloodline. Start to ask your parents, hey, where are my grandparents from? Where are my 4 great-great-grandparents, or where are they from? What is the bloodline? Let's start tracing this in, because that passport might just be able to give you a lot of benefits that you don't know. So these are things that you need to start asking and making sure you know ahead of time, just so that you know exactly how you're going to approach this second citizenship options. The second method is citizenship by marriage. Of course, I've seen all of this happen, especially in the US. Just a big heads up, the US is not the all and all country to go to. There are other amazing countries that you can also go to. Everyone feels like you have to go to the US. Please, let's just get that out of our heads. The US is not the all and all. The US doesn't have great tax for people who are coming to live there. Yes, you have some benefits, of course, because it's the US, but there are also other countries that you can go to and migrate to that you get other good benefits from. So just make sure you do your research. But if you get married to someone of a specific nationality, you're more than likely, you can be entitled to get citizenship by marriage. And of course, there are going to be requirements. Maybe you have to live there for, say, a year or 2 years or whatever with your spouse. So there's always going to be requirements before you're granted those citizenships, but just make sure that you search on those requirements. And if you want to break down some of these different ones individually, please just drop them down in the comments so I can address each citizenship for you. If you're getting any value from this, please hit that like button. The third one, which is always the fastest way to get a citizenship, is citizenship by investment, also known as CBI. This method is usually for people who have surplus money, for the wealthy. So if you're just a regular person and you're, maybe just struggling to make your ends meet, or no, you're not struggling, but this is just, you're not part of that higher percentage of people, then this might not be the route for you. But that does not mean you cannot always work towards this route. This is just where you have to invest a large sum of money to a country or nation, whatever it is. Usually sometimes it can be through real estate, or they have special funds. So they can have a national department fund something or whatever it is, and you have to invest a specific amount of money to get this citizenship. So for instance, in St. Kitts, you have to invest about 250,000 US dollars in their fund, and that's like a donation actually. Once you do that, you're entitled to be able to get the citizenship within 3 to 6 months. So typically it will take about 6 months, the whole process, but these are some ways to get it. This is the fastest way to get it and easiest way, but it costs money. And then lastly, we have the fast track citizenship, which can technically be citizenship by naturalization, but it's fast track. So what does this really mean? This is whereby a government, head of state, whoever it is, based on their discretion, they can give people who have exemplary abilities or whatever it is. So for instance, athletics, and we're going to use an example of Qatar. But I know a few of the athletes where they're originally Nigerian, and because they are amazing athletes, they were able to get this citizenship and then compete for Qatar in the Olympics. So this is just one of the ways that the government is one that decides. So the head of state, the sultan, whatever it is, someone higher in power is the one that will decide that, hey, yes, because of this skill that you have and that's going to benefit our country, you are allowed to get this citizenship. And so Qatar is a very good one. There's also, it does happen in Asia, just like how I know a travel buddy as well who recently got his Filipino citizenship because of him promoting Philippines so much, becoming Filipino. You can check him out on Instagram or other socials, and he just like did an amazing job. He's originally Canadian, but now has gotten his Filipino citizenship because of the amount of love and just how much he has been given so much back to the country. I'm actually hoping that one day I'll be able to get the same for Mexico, because love Mexico truly to death. And anyways, those are some examples of how you can get this special fast track citizenship. So maybe you might want to be an athlete that could be world class, and that might be your way out. You just don't know. So, or focus on something that you know you can really do to help that country out, and they might just want to give you their citizenship. So before you begin, there are some important things that you really need to consider. However, the first thing is you need to make sure you check what the eligibility requirements are. Every citizenship has its different requirements, and they're always very strict and serious. So just make sure you check on exactly what those are. The second thing is the time and the financial investment. So of course you have to make sure you can be able to have, well, the time, you probably have the time, but depending on how fast you want a citizenship, well, the faster you want a citizenship, the more money you're gonna have to invest. So those are very related. If you can wait, then it might take longer. So for instance, myself, to get my Canadian citizenship, it took me 7+ years. It should have been 3 years, but due to my own circumstance, it just took about 7 years plus. The third thing you also want to make sure is tax implications. For all y'all trying to come to States and get all these things, remember, there's a lot of tax implications that comes with living in the States. It's not just rainbow and sunshines all the time. It really isn't. These are things that it's not that easy. So just make sure you know exactly those implications before stepping your foot to the next citizenship. And lastly, you just want to be able to get professional advice. If you guys need any advice, you can always drop them down in the comments. If you need any advice, you can always reach out to me. I have some access to certain people. But yes, just make sure that you guys seek professional advice. Send me an email, depending on whatever your circumstance is, hi@yinkz.com, and I'll be able to see how we could help you best. But overall, just make sure you do your research again properly before you get yourself into anything. There's also this playlist you guys can go to if you have any more questions regarding second passport, citizenships, expat life, whatever that is for you to check out. And also don't forget that you can make a difference in this world. Be a light. Till next time guys, peace out.